Jamaicans, Trinidadians, Asian, St. Lucian, carry gun. We don't carry gun. We carry gun, make it still. Jamaican flair.
Don't you know the Jamaican style? Different flavor, yes, different vibe. Caribbean style. Different walking, talking, bus every time. Jamaican style. Different hustling, bustling, make it wild. Caribbean style. Style you've never seen before. Have you ever seen a style like this? Girls them a bubble and a wine and twist. It's right. Rude boys rolling stiff. Select a wheel and the Jamaican style. Different flavor, yes, different vibe.
Yeah. Right now, October, I got. I create them. What is that? I should paint them yellow, get them the Asian color.
$2,000 can buy how much feeding? How much about we feed now?
Bag of feed is
Average 51.
51 change. Right. And then that's starter. Then you don't know what finish up is 50. So we average about 51.
So dipping my feet. And sanitation is extremely important. When I'm bringing anything in. Alright, put my mask up. And let's take a trip inside. Okay? So let's go inside here. Got little chickens in just like a few minutes ago. They're 1 day old. 1 day old. So let me show you these guys here. Okay? Here they go. These guys are 1 day old. They just got here. Here they go. Hey there, little buddy. There they go. Little guys. Huh? 1 day old chicks. Okay? So we got the little special formula right there. Give them some strength. They're moving and they're running around, flapping their wings, they're pecking. That's what chickens do. You know, as long as I see that, I learned. As long as I see that they're in good shape. If anything is lethargic and not, you know, moving, I prop them up a little bit. I get them some hydration, get them some water or something, and get them to move. You know, but these guys are moving. And it's nice and warm because chickens need heat. They can't produce their own body heat at this age. Let's get around to the other side here. Check these guys out. Okay. Let's see. There they go. Okay. These guys are moving. They sleep a lot. They're babies, of course, and babies sleep a lot. So these guys are looking good, which is a good thing. All right, drinking their vitamins and minerals, you know, bouncing around. That is a really good thing. Flapping their wings, there they go, running, you know, fighting each other. That's good. It's a good thing. All right, okay, I'm right here. They come to you at this age when they hear your voice, you know. When they're older, they do the opposite. So it's an investment, folks. And it's fun just watching these guys grow. Okay? Yeah. So these guys here, okay? I got my mask on. I like to keep my mask on. You know, sometimes I wear a face shield. Always have sanitizer in my pocket, you know, and a face shield, but I'm not splashing anything right now. You gotta be careful. All right? You know what I'm saying? It's a farm. You know? These guys here, these little guys, all right, are 1 day old. Okay? I graduated some other ones from over here that I had from 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, those guys are in the back. 3 weeks ago, those guys used to look like this. Okay? So it's a process. I have enough space, you know, so I studied it like, you know what, let's batch these guys. Batch them so we have a consistent supply of poultry. All right? That's the key. The key is consistency, to always have a supply, you know? So when most people don't have, I will have poultry. You know what I'm saying? That's my goal anyway, and quality poultry and chicken, so people, you know, they know exactly where to get them, all right? The supermarkets or whatever, know where to get them. Anyway, let me just walk over here and show you. There's some more space I have here. More poultry. They're doing the same, you know, it's like a process, you know, let's take them through the process, you know. So let me walk through here, through the back, show you. Okay, let me get out of the way. All right, so what Dwayne gonna do is gonna be chasing them. So there he is right there. And he's chasing them. Let me get out of the way. Okay. Whoa. So here they come. Take your time with them. Take your time with them. So he's chasing them. Okay. And these guys are on their way to their new pasture, new home. Okay. Over here. They'll find their way. They'll take their time. A chicken run. So here they come. Huh? Oh, let's chase them from here. All right, hold on. A chicken walk, but not a run. So that's it. No more chicken run. That's it. Nope. Hopefully these guys will be okay. You know, I see them fighting and jumping around, so that's good. All right. Blessed love, Masapan, Caribbean Style TV. So that's the process we started. So I've never seen it before. So interesting. That was about 10 maybe. We go by the weight, so you know. Okay. 5 weeks.
Huh?
5 weeks.
When?
Huh?
When?
Today.
Today?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You do great.
Huh?
You do great.
Oh yeah, look good. Yeah.
For 5 weeks, the proper.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
To be honest, for 5 weeks,
Yeah.
you're business.
Yeah.
You do good.
I hope it stays like this.
Huh?
I hope so.
Yeah, you do good. You using Robert Spin?
Yeah.
You do good, bro.
Robert, well, the vitamins is what do it, you know?
Yeah. You do well, though, honestly.
Yeah.
It's good and solid, right?
Huh?
The solid.
The solid?
Yeah, wait.
Yeah, that's good. See? That's good. Huh? I'll give you another piece of galvanized. How much in that crate?
Okay. Gonna move with that thing.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't want that no. Huh? He didn't want AT just now.
$124.30.
Uh-huh.
All right. EMT is how much?
12, sorry, 24. 24,
Okay, minus 24, yeah. Yes. Maybe then if you want to take a picture of this, you can.
Okay.
Oh boy. Get big, man. $129.80.
Yeah.
I hear.
Right.
Is they one more for you?
Want to say welcome to Caribbean Style TV right here on Cablevision Masterpan inside the island of Barbados, Charlene Farm that is, okay? And right now I'm on the farm and okay, waiting on another poultry delivery, some broiler chickens. That's the chicken that comes to your table, okay? So it's a business that we resurrected here in Barbados, and it's a pretty decent venture. So I'm here just establishing the business. All right. So I'm right here on the farm, and it's a 14 and a half acre farm, and it's a lot of work, a lot of things to be done. But we'll get there. We start with the broiler chickens. We got some out to market before time, so that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I got my gear on. And all my tools are here that I need, and I don't leave my sanitizer. All right, always have my face mask, and you know, just follow a certain procedure. So right now, chicken in Barbados is very scarce, and it's also extremely expensive. So you know, it's not a bad venture. Okay, I want to say bless up to Sam's Caribbean Marketplace. Sam's Caribbean Marketplace is a sponsor of Caribbean Style TV on Cablevision. Okay, so that's Sam's Caribbean Marketplace, 225 Hempstead Turnpike in West Hempstead, 225 Hempstead Turnpike in West Hempstead. Check out Sam's. They got all the Caribbean products, things from Barbados, Jamaica, you name it. You want to go to Sam's, and Sam's will definitely hook you up. So right now I'm going to show you guys, I have the setup inside for the new day-old baby chicks that are coming in. I got another set that's 2 weeks, and I got another set that's 5 weeks, and half of them is gone. Okay, so the other set is just waiting to be, pretty much going to market at 6 weeks. So I'm just gonna give them a couple more days and they'll be out of there. Those guys are living comfortably like them. They're in a hotel, but it is what it is, So we're gonna clear them out and bring some others in. Okay. Right now we don't have too much vegetation right now because we got a monkey problem in Barbados. The monkeys are absolutely crazy in Barbados. These monkeys, they're all over the place. All right, so my flings 2.5 of them, after them come back. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta solve that here. They eat all your vegetation, your fruits and stuff. You gotta grow stuff that they don't eat. You know what I'm saying? But if you have stuff that they eat, it's gone, trust me. And the monkeys are vindictive. So if you chase them and you race up 1 or 2 of them, it's like them plan on come back and destroy your property in another few weeks. Like them do it on purpose. Like them say, hey, that guy chased me last week, yeah, that same boy, come mash up him thing. And that's what they that's what they do. All right. So I'm gonna show you inside right now. I'll show you inside how we got the setup for the baby chicks that are coming in, and what we do, and how we kind of like rotate them. Okay, so let's take a walk. Okay. Okay, so right now we're inside the pen, and this is the setup. Okay, this side right here, let's see if we can get over to this side right here, is for the baby chicks coming in. Okay, so I got it all set up for them. Okay, so this is all set up for the baby chicks coming in, the day-old baby chicks. Okay, so that's their vitamin water with all their vitamins that their body don't provide, are make them digest their food a little better, just like you take a multivitamin. It's the same thing. All right, so that's the multivitamins that they get to get them going, and a stress stress aid. So that means when they travel, they pick them up and they bring them here, because they're born in the morning, they deliver them at 12 o'clock. So imagine a young baby or chicken just get moved a couple of miles. They kind of stress out, so they have a vitamin stress aid that they get, and that will help them a bit. Okay, so this is set up for them coming in. Okay, nice and warm, between 91 and 94 degrees. I try to keep it for that 91 to 94 degrees. Okay, so they'll be here in the morning. Okay, I'll show you guys that, and these guys right here, okay, these are they're gonna be what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks old. Okay, these guys are 2 weeks. 2 weeks old, and they're gonna be going in the back soon. Okay, these guys are 2 weeks old, and if you can see, they're a little different than the other batch that I have. You can see their heads are shaped a little different. They're taller. This is a more taller strain of chicken. Okay, they're more taller, sleeker, longer necks. So you can see it's a different strain. So these are gonna grow a little different. So I could see the difference already. I'm saying? They're not as wide as the other ones, but they're taller. So that's what they are, more taller and they're not as friendly. They run away. You know, the other ones used to come to you. You know, so for weeks. Okay, we'll see what they look like in 3 weeks. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, so and that's them. You know, see they run right away. Okay, and that's them. And these are the other half of the big guys. Ooh, we're just waiting to be shipped out. So I'll give them 4 or 5 more days with these guys. Okay, 4 or 5 more days. And they have to go. These chickens, anything beyond 6 weeks, you could go 7, but anything beyond 6, their life cycle is not genetically programmed for that. They're prone to heart attacks and they're prone to stroke. It's just the gene pool. And that's how they grow them. That's how they've been doing it for God knows how long, you know, 50, 60, 80 years, you know. So they're not meant to go. You can't keep these guys as pets. All right, so it's not that, you know, the chicken that you had as a child in your yard running around. That's not that's not the kind of chicken that these guys are, you know. Okay, they will have a heart attack and they'll die on you, you know.
In primetime news this evening, scammers are here. Several students ditching formal education for lottery scamming. Tackling violence in schools. More resource officers being trained for the Safe School program. And medical mishap. Investigation underway after baby almost loses his hand in hospital.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime News. We're on air and online at onespotmedia.com. I'm Janella Precious. Also this evening, the business day, Primetime Sports, sports commentary, E-Prime and weather. But before the break, the feedback question. And this evening we're asking, in what ways can violence in schools be addressed? You can share comments online, facebook.com/Television Jamaica and tweet us at TelevisionJam1. Please stay with us. Primetime News returns after this break. Welcome back to Primetime News and a special welcome once again to our viewers on onespotmedia.com. Up first this evening, as the authorities try to curb violence in schools, they have another problem on their hands. Several students are now ditching formal education for lottery scamming. Anthony Lugg spoke with one such student and now reports.
We've gotten permission to speak with a student who's not been at school since the pandemic. He's decided that he does not want us in his presence, so we're going to call him on the phone.
To mask his identity, we'll call him Mark Brown. At 16 years old, Mark is the breadwinner for his family.
Just make money and share, no man. I just make money and share and lie.
The Westmoreland teen who attended high school up to November 2021 told me he started scamming people after finding out he was not recommended to sit CSEC exams. He missed numerous classes due to connectivity issues when the pandemic hit, and since then, life was not the same. Instead of seeking a traditional job or seek placement at another institution, he turned to lottery scamming.
In place of 1 month in my journal, gone for the millions them already, you know. And me just a printer. Me just a, mother will say me is a learner right now. Because in the life me a be bang them.
Of note is that his mother is aware and also benefits from the proceeds of the scam. Mark represents a growing number of school-aged children who've taken an interest in illegal activities since the COVID-19 pandemic. This was Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson at a media briefing recently.
Perhaps because of the time they had available to them, got involved in things they shouldn't have. Lottery scamming being one.
Under Section 3 of the Fraudulent Transactions Act, anyone found guilty of such an offense may be fined or imprisoned for up to 20 years. Despite the harsh penalty, some school-aged children aren't phased. Do you agree that what you're doing is wrong?
1 million times agree to that wrong. Trust me, know say wrong, General. But sometimes I just can't do better. You understand me? I say that?
To get a better understanding as to how and why students take this route, we sought the expertise of Christopher Charles, Professor of Political and Social Science at the University of the West Indies.
These youngsters in lottery scams that are supported by their parents, they're actually in a criminal family. They were socialized into criminality. And I wouldn't be surprised if someone in the family, either both parents or one, or an uncle or a cousin, or a family friend who is close, is into criminal activity.
But here's what the teen told me when pressed about his wrongdoings.
We don't want that to be anything else all our life. I remember saying, no, man, every day we feel, you know, people ball, you know.
Yeah.
And we don't want that fear happen to over few family and few generations.
Family continues to make demands for money, right? Although it's coming from illegal activity. So when that happens, the youngster might very well become a lifelong scammer.
For years, there have been discussions about what's being done and what needs to be done to steer students away from a life of crime. Mr. Charles says emphasis must be placed on addressing the social ills within the society.
Those youngsters, if they were socialized properly, with proper parental support and guidance, they would not be into scamming. Because other children are going through the same stressors, the same challenges and difficulties from the pandemic, and they are working, but they have decided not to go into scamming. So it is a choice.
Anthony Lug, TVJ News.
Now, the Education Ministry is targeting fourth form students as part of plans to tackle violence in schools. Education Minister Favour Williams made the announcement in Parliament today during the sectoral debate. Andrea Chisholm has the details.
The stabbing death of Kamal Hall at William Knibb High due to a conflict over a guard ring is one violent incident that sent shockwaves throughout the country. To help combat the problem, the Education Ministry is rolling out a psychosocial program for grade 10 or 4th form students since data show the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted that cohort the most. The 15-year-olds are also at a critical stage of development and are in need of support. And so the psychosocial program will be held for 2 weeks in April under the theme Embracing a Winning Well-Being.
Schools have the flexibility to replicate and adapt this concept as the need arises. Limited academic classes will be held in those 2 weeks. We want to focus on providing psychosocial support to our 4th form students or grade 10 students, primarily to help them through this period.
Defective metal detectors will be replaced and 55 school resource officers who are police personnel sent to schools in Western Jamaica. School administrators are also reminded to search students for harmful weapons in keeping with the safety and security policy. They should look out for the following:
loud talking beyond what is normal, rough play, gathering of students on the outside of classes, especially during breaks and lunchtime, and we ask that they disperse these gatherings.
Meanwhile, the Education Ministry has spent over $1.8 billion to help bring students up to scratch with the curriculum. The Yard to Yard Find the Child initiative, which seeks to locate children who have been absent from school, is reaping results.
We have been able to re-engage approximately 87,446 of the 120,000 students we had indicated were not accounted for during the pandemic. Madam Speaker, we commit to finding all our students. Our deans of discipline and our guidance officers will specifically redouble their efforts.
And grooming in schools continues to be a hot-button topic, with students being sent home if they do not follow the rules. For example, if pants are too tight or skirts not at the specified length.
Principals are being reminded, and we have been doing this from time to time, that the school's department policy should be guided by the ministry's grooming policy guidelines. And where possible, special consideration should be afforded to students and their families as they attempt to rebound from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and as they try to comply with the department policy of the institution.
The ministry is awaiting feedback on a draft policy for dress and grooming. Minister Williams is hoping it will be available at the start of the next school year. Andrea Chisholm, TVJ News.
In the meantime, more resource officers are being trained to be part of the Safe Schools program in St. Anne to reduce the incidence of violence in schools. Shamela Pullen has the details.
Marcus Garvey Technical High School in St. Anne, a school which is all too familiar with students with violent behavior. But recently, things have changed for the better. The institution is one of 4 schools in the parish that's part of the Safe Schools program, which is designed to reduce violence in schools. Head of the St. Anne Police, Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell, says the police have been using unique ways to engage students, including through sports.
I want to say to all the schools in St. Anne, if you are not on the Safe School program, we are in the process of training some Safe School resource officers. And so we have 22 persons that will be trained to be in all the schools in St. Anne, just to ensure that we keep the school environment safe. We want to say to our students that as you get back to school, you must get back into the learning environment. Get back so that we can together build this nation.
The school's principal, Adiona Jones, says the reinforcement by the police to address social ills is needed.
While the ref was in the middle of the field, one of our students said, "Yo, the ref too fear. But you know who I'm, mother? One teacher. So we can't expect no better." That to me says a lot. When you establish the kind of reputation where you are known for being fair, for being open and positive sportsmanship, it says a lot. And that is why I'm particularly excited by the partnership that has been offered by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Our boys especially need to see positive male examples and role models.
Head boy Jamil Day is calling on his peers to stop the violent behavior. He also made an impassionate plea to students who wear guard rings and who are addicted to pills.
Well, it shouldn't be encouraged in school, but as you know, music has a big influence on our youths in Jamaica. But students should come to school to learn, not for ring and fashion. At Marcus Garvey Technical High School, we don't allow any form of jewelry in here. So I don't think this is something to pick up as youths in the country. Let us try to learn. Let us be motivated to learn when we're at school. Violence in school is a major thing now. It's like violence is the answer to everything, which is not. And the fact that the police officers came here today to play soccer with us, sir, and not make an arrest, it's a great feeling.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
Still to come this evening, on the run. Man suspected of molesting 2 children being sought by the police. And in business news, Epoch expecting growth in the local economy despite a number of risks. We'll be right back.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. An investigation is underway after a 6-month-old baby almost lost his hand after getting medical treatment. As Kirk Wright reports, the child's mother is pointing to negligence.
Frightening is how Keshan MacDonald described the look of her son's hand after being called to the Spanish Town Hospital to meet with the medical team.
It was an orthopedic doctor from the Spanish Town Hospital who said there was a mishap during the transfusion and I need to come in as soon as possible because the baby need to be transferred to the Bustamante Children's Hospital.
She recalls that on March 30, she took her 5-week-old baby to the Spanish Town Hospital where he was diagnosed with a urinary tract infection. The child was admitted and was being treated with antibiotics, but Ms. MacDonald says she was told his blood count was low and a blood transfusion was needed. She says the doctors told her they started the transfusion at 7 that evening. It was done by accessing the vein on the child's right hand. We were told by a doctor that the process of blood transfusion must be carefully managed, especially when dealing with children. But after the process, this mother was left in a state of shock.
When I saw the baby's arm, I said, "Doc, but this looked like negligence." And she said, "Yes, it is negligence because they are supposed to be checking the access and constantly to ensure that the blood is flowing properly.
A doctor, she says, explained what could have caused the infection.
The doctor has said that at 10 p.m., a junior nurse checked the access to ensure and flushed it to ensure that the blood was flowing properly. A junior nurse is not supposed to be checking access to ensure. They are supposed to be supervised with a senior registered nurse.
This is what the doctor said, or this is what you're saying?
No, this is what the doctor said, that the access is supposed to be monitored constantly.
The baby was subsequently transferred to the Bustamante Hospital for Children, where he underwent surgery.
When I went to the Bustamante Children's Hospital, they said that if they have used a syringe, if a doctor had used a syringe within half an hour to an hour after the transfusion, the blood could have been extracted from the child's arm. Because it stayed so long, it clotted underneath it. So the baby had to undergo a surgery. This is nothing that a mother should bear. This is overwhelming. This is the child. When I looked at my baby's face, I could see pain in his eyes. I could see pain in his face. He couldn't move properly.
When we contacted the Spanish Town Hospital, we were told by the CEO, Jacqueline Ellis, that the matter was still being investigated. The CEO said when the hospital reached out to the mother on Monday, she said she would not be talking to them because the matter is now with her attorney. Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
A disturbing story is unfolding in Westmoreland, where a man is suspected of molesting 2 children. The children are his sister and niece. They are 5 and 2 years old, respectively. The man is now being sought by relatives and the police. Details in this report.
Every parent will feel hurt.
A warning to other parents from a terrified and angry mother. Her 5-year-old daughter is now in hospital after she was molested, allegedly by her older brother.
Water gone 3 days. So she was going to school. So me wake 5 in the morning and catch some water, put in the machine. When me wash her clothes, 3 panty for her. Hanging on the line, me feel one of the panty with slime. Me said then, my panty have slime, water, car slime.
The mother said she immediately got the authorities involved.
When the police bring me to here, and them tests, our virginity gone and everything gone.
A second child, who also lives at the family home, has also been taken to the hospital for checks as they suspect she may have also been a victim. She is understood to be 2 years old and is the niece of the man. Family and residents have shared pictures of the main suspect with friends and neighbors to help widen the search for him. The police are also seeking the relative who they believe can assist with their investigation into the matter.
Turn himself to me, not the police, me. Me is the one when tell lie.
The mother said she hopes her son turned predator hears the appeal and come forward immediately. But while the predator is still on the run, the mother is asking persons not to harbor him and to also be wary of who they keep around their children.
All parents like me, 6 child, she's the last one, be careful. A family and friends all over.
When we caught up with the family members, they were taking supplies to the children at hospital. The 2 girls are students who should be in school, but instead they are in hospital due to a despicable act.
Cody Ann Barrett, TVJ News.
Another major drug bust by the security forces, this time cocaine found hidden in a secret compartment of a vessel. But as Jamila Maitland reports, it was a request for help that resulted in the find.
It all started when JDF Coast Guards noticed a boat in the vicinity of Pedro Banks on April 6. The 3 men who were on board claimed they had technical difficulties and requested assistance from the officers.
When they accosted the men reported to them that they were fisherfolk and they were experiencing difficulty and needed support, and they wanted to be rescued to get back to shore. So the members of the Coast Guard took them aboard their vessel and towed the vessel inland.
But after routine processing, it was revealed that the men didn't have the necessary documentation for the vessel. They were then slapped with charges under the Fisheries Act and given station bail. They were also given a May 11 court date.
They found some 29 40-gallon containers with liquid substance. They have since sent samples to the forensic lab for testing. They are still awaiting the results of that test to determine whether it's petrol as the men claim or it's something else.
Upon further inspection of the vessel, the police noticed that it was customized and had secret compartments.
So far they found 141 packets of cocaine, each of them weighing 2 kilos. So those are now being packaged to commence a further investigation by the Narcotics Division.
The drugs were labeled and wrapped in black and clear bags. It is believed that the drugs have an estimated street value of over $300 million. However, the police are yet to confirm a final figure. As for the 3 men, they remain out on bail, but when contacted, the police could not confirm whether they will be charged for the illegal drugs. The police do not believe the men are the main players in the drug trade. This is the second major drug bust in a week.
As we know that it's the drug, the proceeds from the drug that's fueling the gangs. And as we continue to seek to dismantle the gangs and to seize all the guns and to apprehend all the gunmen, then we believe that these operations and the impact that they will have will ultimately allow us to take away the proceeds that they are using from these illegal activities to fuel the gang trade.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
Outdated laws and fines that are still on Jamaica's books 60 years after independence. Why is it taking so long for legislators to update our laws? Herman Green has been seeking answers in this primetime news follow-up.
Over 650 pieces of legislation in the Jamaica Constitution. Quite a few are considered outdated, while others need to be removed off the books. The Jamaica Bar Association has been reviewing the laws. Alexander Williams is the president.
It's a lot less than 50% from my look of our laws. As I said to you, I don't believe it is too big a problem. It can become a big problem when you come upon an emergency and you realize where you are.
He believes the laws should be updated more regularly and questioned the will of successive governments to do so. Having previously served as a senator, he acknowledges that there are numerous steps to the process.
Having said that, we have too many examples that even with those challenges, we still can push it through quickly. We have those examples, all right? A lot of scamming legislation is one. The problem with the Road Traffic Act and the fines and how quickly that got through Parliament. So where there's a will, there's a way.
Now, interestingly, the challenges that stem from the irregular updating of legislation go way beyond the fines. Jeanette Calder is the executive director of the Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal. And as she points out, even legislation that were updated recently, they still don't have enough teeth.
JAMP focuses on acts of corruption and laws to hold public servants accountable. Ms. Calder points out that under the public procurement policy, fines ranging from $1,000 to $5,000 were in place for breaches. The shift to the Integrity Commission Act 2017 saw new fines ranging from $1 million to $5 million. But she believes a $5 million fine is not a deterrent for corruption with multi-billion-dollar contracts. For JAMP, while accountability laws, including the Public Bodies Management and Accountabilities Act, PBMA, are already in place, constitutional reforms must address this.
In terms of update, there's not much that those would need. But in terms of sanctions and penalties and enforcement, there's more that we would like to see, for sure. More teeth and more persons having the teeth to apply those sanctions.
There is one piece of legislation that she believes needs urgent attention. The Integrity Commissions Act, which prevents the disclosure of information about parliamentarians.
It's disturbing and concerning that if a parliamentarian is charged under that act, that is not information that the public will know. And if that parliamentarian is prosecuted under that act, mean guilty, pays a fine, or whatever the penalty is, the public has an employee in a legislator, a political representative, committed a crime, gone to the court system. You and I don't have right to that information.
That piece of legislation is now under review. But with the Legal and Constitutional Affairs Minister, Marlene Malahoo Fort, tight-lipped on the plan for changes, Mr. Williams has suggested this long-term fix.
Why not have a permanent law reform commission? A permanent body can be established by statute, yet another bit of legislation, right? But the UK did this from as long ago as 1965. So whilst government is focused on its policy, focused on the emergency of the moment, you have another body who's there taking a holistic view of all of the laws and coming up with recommendations.
For the purpose of this report, we sought an interview with the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, Marlene Malahoo Fort. We were told we'd have to wait until after her May 11 sectoral presentation to Parliament. Herman Green, TVJ News.
The Portmore Municipal Corporation, the police and the operators of PriceSmart have been locked in a meeting Tuesday following the traffic nightmare on Britain Parkway in the municipality. Now it comes after PriceSmart officially opened its Portmore Club to the public Tuesday morning. Scores of people converged on the popular retailer since it opened at 8 o'clock. According to the Municipal Corporation, the meeting was held after noticing the chaos along Britain Parkway as persons tried to enter and exit PriceSmart. The congestion started from as early as 2 p.m. with vehicles slowing to a crawl on the busy roadway. Now the authorities are trying to devise a plan to ease the flow of traffic.
Still ahead in primetime news, Russian President Vladimir Putin defends his invasion of Ukraine. Please stay with us.
Welcome back. We're continuing the news. The opposition spokesman on energy is raising concerns about higher electricity costs if the JPS goes ahead with a specific development plan. Philip Paulwell says the Jamaica Public Service, JPS, is pursuing an unsolicited proposal for bids to replace the 171.5 megawatts of existing capacity. He's questioning the move by the JPS ahead of changes to the Electricity Act.
The demand for electricity has been falling, especially since COVID-19. It is likely to continue to fall as many customers move their business to other sources. So, firstly, will there be enough demand to justify the addition of this new capacity to the grid, even though it's replacing some existing ones? Will the already overburdened JPS customers have to pay the fixed capacity charges, even if the plant is not called upon to produce any electricity? Once they have a power purchase agreement, all of those capital charges must be borne and passed through to the consumers.
Now, Mr. Paulwell insists that lawmakers reviewing the 2015 Electricity Act want to remove the clause about the right of first refusal in JPS's electricity license. That clause grants JPS the right to replace its generating units when they become due to be retired. Mr. Paulwell is also concerned about reports that automotive diesel oil is the proposed alternative fuel.
Fuel charges as another take or pay arrangement is in place. Why would the alternative fuel be ADO when we know that HFO, heavy fuel oil, is the cheaper source? Why would the company be rushing this process when the Joint Select Committee is addressing the very issue at this time?
The Ministry of Health says over the last 24 hours, the country's COVID-19 positivity rate increased to 7.8%, 43 new COVID-19 cases from 3,760 samples. The overall case count now stands at 129,098. 15 patients are hospitalized with the virus. One patient is critically ill. One COVID-related death was recorded, increasing the death toll to 2,917. Meanwhile, 77 more patients have recovered from the virus, bringing total recoveries to 82,094. There are 278 active cases on the island. 679,227 people are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. And time for responses to our feedback question. We've been asking, in what ways can violence in schools be addressed? Anard says the intervention starts from the homes. Parents need to get involved in their children's lives. Drew says body and bag search of all students and incorporate the police into the school's disciplinary efforts so that the violent students are removed by the police. Hopeton says it must be a multi-pronged approach where the parents or guardian takes a lead role. The community, the very educational institutional, have a major role to instill discipline from a tender age. And you can keep those comments coming. Facebook.com/Television Jamaica and tweet us at TelevisionJam1. The Business Day and news from overseas are after the break. Please stay with us.
Good evening and welcome to the Business Day. I'm Javon Keys. The Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, is expecting growth in the local economy for this fiscal year despite a number of risks to include the Ukraine-Russia crisis. EPOC's outlook was shared at a media briefing this morning. Growth in the local economy is expected to fall within the 2 to 4% range for the current fiscal year. But while it's too early to be sure, the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, says the current Ukraine-Russia crisis and other economic factors are likely to see GDP fall to the lower end of that estimate range.
While the GOJ has assumed a 3.5% growth rate in GDP for the year, the Bank of Jamaica Monetary Policy Committee in their statement on March 29 indicated that based on what they're seeing with Russia, Ukraine, and further developments in the market, that their projection of 2 to 4%, they will hold that, but they could see GDP falling to the lower end of that 2 to 4%.
Mr. Duncan says if the target edges lower, tax revenues could be affected.
It could mean that tax revenues could be impacted, but we would have to find that balance between the inflationary impact on revenues and the lower volumes and economic activity that could occur. So it could mean that revenues could fall marginally lower, and if that was to happen, then there would have to be an adjustment in expenditures. So it's going to be always a balancing act.
As already announced by the Bank of Jamaica's Monetary Policy Committee, inflation is likely to exceed the target range of 4 to 6% over the next few months. But as risks heighten, even that range could be breached. Despite that, Jamaica's debt-to-GDP ratio is expected to continue trending down.
The government of Jamaica anticipates for the financial year 2022-2023 a fiscal and primary balance surpluses of $6.8 billion and $145.2 billion. So we're going to see fiscal surplus and a primary balance surplus, which will lead to further debt reduction. Jamaica's debt to the GDP ratio is projected to fall from 96.3% to 87.3% at the end of 2022-2023.
Let's head to the foreign exchange market. The U.S. currency is being sold for an average $155.67. $123.58 is the going rate for the Canadian dollar, $204.74 for the pound, and the euro is selling for an average $168.78. Now on the stock market, the JSE main index declined by 541 points today, while the junior market index advanced by 36 points. Among today's winners were Fosrich, Portland JSX, Epley 7.25% preference shares, Siboney Group, and Iron Rock Insurance Company. While on the losing side were Kingston Properties, Trans Jamaican Highway, Key Insurance, Blue Power Group, and JMB Group. And that's it for the Business Day. I'm Javon Keys. Stay with us. Regional and international news are after the break.
Time now for a look at some of the major stories from around the world.
In news from the region, police in Guyana are searching for a 56-year-old man who stabbed his wife to death at their home on Tuesday. According to reports, the woman's body was found by their son early in the morning. Police say the man, Vijimal Raj, who remains on the run, was recently released on bail after being arrested for physically assaulting his wife. The couple was due to return to court on Wednesday for the continuation of the assault case. And on the international scene, Russian President Vladimir Putin has described the invasion of Ukraine as noble and says its goals will be achieved. President Putin has defended his decision, noting that the special operation was the right step as Russia had no other choice. He made the comments following a meeting with the leader of Belarus. During the meeting, he said talks with Ukraine are at a dead end. And a person of interest has been named in Brooklyn's subway station shooting Tuesday morning. 62-year-old Frank R. James is being sought after 10 people were shot. At least 29 others were treated at nearby hospitals for injuries, none of which were life-threatening. Police say the suspect opened smoke grenades on the train before firing 33 times. A Glock handgun, 3 extended magazines, 2 detonated smoke grenades, 2 non-detonated smoke grenades, and a hatchet were later found on the scene. With your regional and international roundup, I'm Herman Green.
And the Primetime News package continues with sports after this break.
Reggae artist Chris Martin has been getting rave reviews for his newly released track dubbed Trust. Now the song was produced by Chris Martin and Lamont Monty Savory and was released April 1. Trust tackles various issues faced in friendships and relationships. Chris Martin shared the inspiration behind the single.
The inspiration behind Trust? Well, it's self-explanatory, you know. Yeah, I don't trust nobody who's friends with everybody. You understand? Yeah, there's no possible way that can happen. Because a friend to all is absolutely a friend to none. Because there's no possible way like you can have somebody in your life that you say you genuinely love, and you know, on the other hand, you know of somebody who is willing to hurt that person and do that person an injustice, and you say in a business you're gonna be friends with both sides.
So you know, that's our our little tour for now. It's just the poultry for now, you know. And there's some goat, some pigs and stuff like that, and some sheep and donkey, you name it, anything like that. But it's the warm Barbados sun, and I'm just here on a lazy Caribbean day, you know what I'm saying? And these pretty much are my days. It's just kind of, you know, the sun, take it easy, you know, that's a business and stuff like that, you know. You know what I'm saying? I'll drive the tractor in a few and I'll cut, you know, some of the property and you name it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll go cook. This weekend I got a cooking thing coming up. It's a fun in the park thing. So I need some chickens for that. So we'll get those processed and do some wood fire jerk. Wood fire jerk. I'll show you that live on TV and on Masapan C-Style TV on Facebook. That's Masapan C-Style TV on Facebook. You want to make sure, say check me out, send me a friend request. All right, seen? So blessed love, enough fun, and enough respect. All right, so I'll show you the crates that we have that, you know, we'll take some of these guys to market ourselves, and we'll keep those on hand. So we're making a lot of connections here in Barbados. I want to make some connections in Jamaica also, because the high pro feed in Jamaica, I heard it's pretty good, you know, it's nutritionally. So, and I actually could bring it over from Jamaica to Barbados, and it's not taxable because it's CARICOM and it's agriculture. So, you know, it's one CARICOM. So that's what it is. So I probably will try to do that in the future. We'll bring over a bunch of those and use the high pro, good old high pro from Jamaica. See? So Masapan said, blessed love. Enough love, enough fun, and enough respect. And thanks for tuning in right here to Caribbean Style TV, right here on Cablevision, your Optimum network. Masapan C-Style TV on Facebook, Masapan C-Style TV on Twitter, Masapan C-Style TV on YouTube, you name it. You know, send me a friend request, click and like, and tell me that you guys are watching, and that's you know, you're gonna see a lot more. We'll have some fun. All right. Right now I'm just laying the foundation, and things are going pretty good. I can't really complain, you know what I'm saying? I'm a patient person, and we'll take our time and keep doing it. See? So, blessed love. I'll be back in New York in a few. All right, so let's keep it locked. Masapan, C-Style TV, right here on Cablevision. See? 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. See? ReggaeCity.com on Fridays from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. and no sound test on WSB Stonebrook 90.1 on Thursdays, 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. Scene, blessed love. Salah.